whole set, that is the primary receptacle with the absorbent material, should be kept in a secondary container.
Okay.
And that is also properly has a cover, a lid that is properly covered, and that should be kept in a third container. We call that a triple packaging system.
Okay.
That is the recommended. So, as you saw in the clip, that ice chest or the cool box that we saw, is the final.
So that'll be the third one.
Yeah, the third one.
Okay.
Yes, and in it we should have ice packs to keep the environment cool.
Okay.
We should transport it under cold chain. We call it it should have a temperature of around 2 to 8 degrees.
Okay.
So we keep the ice packs in it and they transport it. So we have a triple packaging system where we have the primary receptacle, secondary, and the third container. And the third container should have some ice packs in it to keep the sample cool.
Now, the gentleman in the video talked about PPEs, personal protective equipment, and the fact that he didn't have the standard equipment at first, so he was using the facility's disposable equipment. Obviously, that's somebody who has been trained to an extent and has seen the foresight to protect himself before taking samples. How important is the training of these people who do collect these samples prior to them even undertaking a normal blood extraction?
Very, very important, because if you look at the statistics, we have more health workers dying from some of these viral hemorrhagic fevers than even the ordinary people or their relatives. So if one is trained on how to take a sample, then you minimize exposure.
Okay.
So he showed us what he used, but ideally, if you use these equipment to take sample, you have to discard them. It's single use. You don't have to keep them again.
So no recycling of these equipment at all. No washing and bringing them back.
No, because even though we wear these personal protective equipment, we always say that it's not foolproof.
Right.
We can't guarantee that there is a droplet or something that is in it that somebody may touch. And if we have a drop or an aerosol from these sample that we take, it contains a lot of viral particles. And the moment you inoculate yourself with it, you are going to get an infection.
Okay. Now, your facility sounds like it's ready to deal with the issues. There have been some rumors that there was indeed an Ebola case that was here on the shores of Ghana. How credible are the lab results of your institution? Oh,
very credible. You see, before Ebola, Noguchi has had collaborations with world-renowned institutes. Abroad, WHO certified institute. We do a lot of research work with other renowned institutes around the world. You see, Ebola is not what we started with. Noguchi has been in existence and doing so many things. We are just helping the Ghana Health Service because they don't have the facilities to run things like Ebola.
Right.
So they just bring it there. But that is not our mainstay. We do research, and it's been in existence, and we've done a lot. WHO and other institutions, CDC. Some of the projects that we run, they have to bring proficiency panel.
Right.
Let's say specimens that have been tested already, they will bring it to you to do them for them to see if your results are consistent
with them.
This. Right. And we have been doing this for a very long time, and we score. And we have regional labs there. We have national influenza lab. We have a regional polio lab. So many of these labs there that are WHO accredited. So it is not Ebola that is going to take our credibility.
Right.
However, it's an established institution.
Okay. Understandable. Now, just a little bit of professional advice from yourself. Obviously, you being in the field, how do you think health professionals should be able to, or actually, identify that they should protect themselves when the symptoms for Ebola are similar to malaria, cholera, until they get to the extremes? So, for instance, if somebody is going to a normal hospital, says they're not feeling well, a health professional is there, maybe could even about to take a blood sample, how is that person meant to know the difference or even protect themselves effectively from the normal day-to-day diseases that we have and this extreme case of Ebola?
Where we are now, we don't have to take chances.
Right.
So for every patient that is seen at the health facility, the basic PPE or the personal protective equipment
should be used. Right.
Yes. So we are talking about the N95 mask that covers the nose and the mouth. We're talking about gloves. We're talking about the gown, and those are the basic. We have the intermediary, and we have the one that when we have a high index of suspicion, we can put it on. So we talk about basic one. If any patient present with any kind of fever-like symptoms, we have to work.
Okay, now on the other side of that is the general public. Now we know here in Ghana that not everybody goes into the hospital in an ambulance. And it's not always paramedics that will be dealing with these people. Family members, people of the general public are usually the first ones on the scene to gather somebody up, put them in a taxi or a pickup, and take them to the hospital. What's the advice that you give to these people? Because obviously they're putting themselves at risk as well.
Yeah, you see, if you are not sure or what the patient, or let's say somebody who is feeling very unwell, is suffering from, you call in the professionals. Now the Ghana Health Service have distributed these leaflets that have got these toll-free numbers on them. Yeah, so we use them to call the professional. If you're not sure, if you see somebody is falling down unwell or something, just call the professionals to attend to it, because you don't have these basic personal protective equipment we're talking about. So you will not be in the right you will not be the right person to take care of that person. So it is advised that for those who are not health professionals, if they see somebody who is very unwell, let's say the person collapses or something, you call in the professionals to come and attend to the person. If you have to, then you have to wear the basic personal protective equipment, the gloves, possibly the face mask, to attend to it.
Which is not always practical.
It is not realistic.
In your professional capacity, do you think that we're prepared as a nation for Ebola? We had reports yesterday that the quarantine area at Kolebu Teaching Hospital is almost done. However, we have lab samples or coming to yourselves for checking. So as a nation, do you think we're ready, or is there more to be done?
That question is kind of a policy oriented question. I wish I were a minister to answer that, but from what we have heard, we are part of the National Technical Committee Coordinating Council, the NTCC, and they've told us on several occasions that the nation is quite prepared for, should we get any Ebola case, for us at Noguchi, it is something that we do on a routine basis.
So you're ready, you're prepared.
So we don't have any problem receiving samples and running them. But for the nation as a whole, the health facilities and all that one I cannot speak for them. But what I know is that we've been told that the facilities have been, a lot of health staff have been trained, they've been sensitized on how they can diagnose, or let's say when somebody comes with something that looks like Ebola, they will be quick enough to pick it and all that. We have been told, but I cannot speak for that.
All right, and just to wrap things up, you being who you are, you have a national platform here in front of you. Could you please give the general public some advice on how to avoid Ebola, or even if they see symptoms of it, what to do at first call?
What has gone round is that we should practice hand hygiene. That is very, very important. We should have a culture or a habit of washing our hands regularly. If you come to work and you go and wash your hand properly with soap and water, if you leave work or if you're about to leave, just wash your hand properly with soap and water. If you get home, even before you welcome your family, you do that. You don't only stand a chance of preventing Ebola, a lot of other infections. So that is for the general public. But for the health staff, we shouldn't take chances. Anybody that comes to the OPD that has to be attended to, we should wear the basic personal protective equipment.
All right. I want to say a big thank you for coming in this morning.